Hey guys, it's Cassie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a flip through for you guys. This was a custom order for my friend Kim. She loves pink and gold and just really feminine, and specifically liked my mail order bride journal, but yeah, it's a little bit different. So you guys know nothing I make is exactly like anything else, so I just kind of took what she likes, and hopefully this is something that she'll also like. Okay, so it is a cahier sized insert, fabric covered, and just lots of like really bright pinks, and then I also tried to tie in this little teal color here in the sari trim, with like a little fabric scrap here. The cover also has a vintage French postcard that I've just turned into like a cover flap and like stitched around, and so it's actually a big pocket. And inside the pocket I have tucked in, let's see if I can open this up, tucked in a few little paper ephemera items like some tickets and like a check stub receipt there. And it's actually stitched to a vintage envelope that I've just reinforced with some pretty washi tape there. So then the back actually has my stamping here, instead of on its own separate little patch. Sorry, I've got like all these little threads all over this thing. Anyway, so yeah, that's the outside. I also have this big pocket on the front. Let's see here. So there's a pocket here, but I've chosen to leave it blank, just to not cover up the really pretty floral patterns, and then I've also done some little hand stitching on the cover, so just some little crosses and French knots there. So then going inside, I have added on another vintage envelope and just clipped on this calling card. And I've just added on some scraps and receipts and things like that, so that she can use those for journaling elsewhere in the journal. And then tucked inside the tuck spot that makes, I've just put in this little printable of this pretty lady. Yeah. And I just did a little collaging there with some registered mail stamps. Okay, and then on the first page, I've just used this really big floral page and stitched on this image of these girls in their May Day dresses. And I've just tucked in this postcard that I picked up specifically for Kim because she loves pink and gold, and it is very embossed, and it's flocked. It's just a really beautiful postcard, so I wanted to include that with her journal. And then just a really big lace ruffle there. The other side of that floral page. And then I have used one of my tags that I got from Heather, and just stitched on just this flower and a little circle there. So yeah. And then on this side, I've just clipped on this little piece of Prima paper, and this is actually a tuck or a pocket here. So yeah, I just love this image though, so she can use that for journaling or just leave it as is. I think it's just really pretty. And then on this side, she also said she really loved that pocket specifically from my mail order bride journal. So I've kind of recreated that just with a little bit different paper, and also used a piece from that wedding dress bodice that I had left over So you'll see that bodice kind of appear throughout the journal, and I've just clipped on this little handsome dude here. So yeah, he just clips right on here. And that's on some vintage music paper. And then this is a vintage receipt that was kind of like bent already, so I just added some washi to reinforce it. Oh, and it's perforated, that was it. So I didn't want that perforation to tear, which is why I used the washi. And then just some journaling space there, more journaling space. I added in little gold details, so like this trim is actually like a faux leather, and it has little gold studs on it. So yeah, that just kind of covers the stitching on that pink tab, but it adds in the gold that she really likes. So yeah. And then this side has a big pocket there, and this vintage photo of a mom and her son at the beach. And I actually cannot find my green photo corners. I think this is the only thing that I got the green photo corners on before I lost the whole package, so go figure. But yeah, that's a tuck spot or a pocket there. And then I've used this pretty rose stationery sheet and just added on some sequins on the side. And then the back side of that turns into some journaling space for her. And then I've got a journaling card that I've made, or a tag rather, and then just some vintage note paper. And then I've just created this tuck spot out of this postcard, and then more of that wedding dress bodice. And of course the blue is some journaling space. And it is the back side of this vintage business letter. And some more journaling space. And I've just done like a tip in with a vintage hanky there. And then I've clipped over the edge of this yearbook page a vintage, what's it called? Quilt square. And then I've just tucked in this vintage while you're out memo paper. And then on this side, I've tucked in the letter that actually came in the envelope that I used on the front cover. So I wanted to include the original letter with the journal, so I've just tucked it in right here. And then on this side, I have this vintage photo of like a seascape, and that just clips over this vintage postcard, which is really, really beautiful. And it's got gold lettering. I love these postcards like this. I don't have very many left in my stash, so I might need to find some more. And then just a vintage guest check there. And then this side I have some journaling space, and I've just made this little bow on the edge of the page with some holes that I punched in. And sorry you guys, I can hear my parents talking in the background. You guys know that I'm currently staying with them, but I guess my grandfather has had a heart attack in Reno, and so they're like trying to figure out what's going on. So I may need to go and just pause the video and just go ask what's going on. But it sounds like they don't know very much yet. Gosh. Okay. So, and then on this side, I just have some more journaling space here, and I've just clipped over the edge like this little, it's a printable, but of like a label that's just really gorgeous and ornate. So yeah, that just clips over the edge there. And I've just created this little corner tuck out of some pattern paper. And then inside I've tucked in this catalog card and a vintage check there. And then on the edge of the page, I just have this really pretty gold trim, and it's really cool. It's got these beads on it and just like a whip stitch around the edge, but this is like metallic wire almost. So yeah, I just stitched that to the edge of the page, and I think it just really adds like something extra to this page. And of course some journaling space, and this is like almost like a vellum sheet, but it is a vintage paper. So yeah, and then on this side I have tucked in just some really pretty papers to use for collaging or just to keep in her journal. But this has like gilding on the edge, and it's just really a gorgeous piece of paper. And then this is obviously French, so it's from a French to English, or English to French lesson book. But I just love the font there. And then just some tickets there. And then this, I intended to open like that. So this is like the centerfold, but this was like a Valentine's paper. But I just love the little hearts, and they're actually pies. So I love that. Kim and I talk about food a lot. So yeah, I just wanted to include something that was kind of a memory of our love of food. So yeah, that's what that is. And I just love this little, it's from a merry-go-round, and yeah, so, or a carousel, I guess is the proper term for it. But yeah, I love the horse and the yellow, and yeah, so yeah. And then this is more of that wedding dress, and then just a vintage button card that I've kind of altered. I added a ribbon to make it into a tag and added this little rose flower there. And then on the back side there is a pocket there, and a more journaling space. And then on this side, of course, more journaling space. And I had actually wrapped that around, but I'm gonna trim it off actually, because it's not sticking. Okay, that's better. Sorry about that. And then on this side, I have created this corner tuck spot out of some paper, handmade paper from Heather's shop. And I've just tucked in this vintage envelope or letter here, which is typewritten. And just this little permit card, which has all these little cool punches in it. So yeah, that's just a little piece of vintage ephemera that I thought was really neat. And then of course some more journaling space. And then we talk about vintage like movie stars and movies, and she really likes that, so I wanted to include this page. And then some more journaling space on the other side of that yearbook page, and more journaling space. And then on this side I have included with this very old rusty paper clip, so this actually folds open if you take the paper clip all the way off, but I've added in the cinnamon cookies recipe and a vintage photo. And then here is the other side of that business letter. And you can see all the folds that were in that paper. I actually might go back and add a little bit more washi on this side to just kind of strengthen that fold a little bit. And then of course the gold sequins on that side, and some more journaling space. And then I have added in this collage tag that I made with a little tag that has like this wax seal. Oh gosh, I knew I was gonna forget. This tag is specifically inspired by somebody on Instagram that I saw, and so I will link in the description box of the video, but I cannot for the life of me remember who I saw this from. But I just loved it so much, and I thought this style of tag would go so well with this journal, so I wanted to make one. But I will link in the description box where I originally saw that idea. And then of course this collage tag that I've made, this tuck spot out of a Roseland skating rink ticket there. Oh, and then this is like a vintage sofa. It was out of like a DIY book from the 50s, and so yeah, I love these sofas. And then just a vintage photo on the other side. And then this is obviously some more journaling space. And then more of that wedding dress bodice. And then just a few little pieces, handwritten pieces, that tuck in on the back side of that. The other side of that music book page. And then I've created this tuck spot out of a vintage playing card with just this really pretty couple dancing. And I've just tucked in this little poem with these pretty roses on it. Goes in like that. And then on this side, I've tucked in this vintage French postcard, which I love. It is missing its stamp. I was kind of sad about that. And then I've just tucked in a few receipt papers and checks in that pocket there. And then the other side of that map paper, which I actually really love for journaling. And then of course you could journal on this side with like a white pen or gold maybe. And then this side actually has the other side of that dress, the ladies in their dresses, as a tuck spot. So yeah, that's the journal, and hopefully Kim really likes it. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, be sure and subscribe for more junk journal flip throughs and occasionally a junk journal with me video. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video.